Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wild Eric's podcast. And tonight we're going to just be visiting different bands tonight, maybe doing a little poetry, maybe reading from some books that I've been reading lately. So we're going to start off with Tears for Fears from their new album, The Tipping Point. And this song is called No Small Thing.
Get your sweets from the candy man. Get your truth from the shelf. Don't buy into the fairy tale. Just be good to yourself. 'Cause you know that I love you, girl. You're my way out of hell. But I've just one more song to sing. One more story to tell.
So that is No Small Thing by Tears for Fears off the album The Tipping Point. To the new one. I saw them live in Raleigh recently. I gotta say, they were fantastic. One of the best live shows I've seen ever. Reminded me a lot of Pink Floyd. And now I'm going to read you a poem, and then we'll move on to more music. If I had you here, there's a lot of things that I'd tell you from my heart. Like your mind's a wine that sharpens me like steel, that your kiss is the wind that sails me to your stars. Never will I forget, running in the rain, soak and wet. We will rebel against the pages of time. Did you know your love's a miracle? A Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's how you glow in the breeze of the night ricochet. With a rebel heart, a fascinating secret of the U.S. history of us. Never gonna let them win. I'm whipping the storm, and I'm going to earn this purple heart. High as the mountains on your face, I see inside and outside of your eyes. And now off the album The Tipping Point also, the song The Tipping Point, which I think you're gonna dig. Coming right up.
Watch their breath and feel the cold. Raise your hand, bite your tongue. Conversation is over and done. We let 'em out, we let 'em in. Will you ever know when it's the tipping point, the tipping point? So who's that ghost knocking at my door? You know that I love you more. What's that shape climbing over my wall? You know that I love you more.
So that was a little taste there of The Tipping Point, new album by Tears for Fears. That song is called The Tipping Point. And now, let's drift a little. One of my favorite songs by Enya is called Drifting. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're drifting through the night in a sweet dream, cuddled up next to your favorite person. You ever hear of Jim Rohn? Jim Rohn said, "To have more in life, we must first become more." I've heard it said, the world doesn't get better, you get better. And if you want to be happy, make happiness a study. Did you eat today? Did your brain eat today? We're serving mental supper here tonight. I was reading a book recently, and the book was called Gene Roddenberry, The Last Conversation. And in this book, written by Yvonne Fern in 1994, I believe, it was a conversation that led up to the man's death, the actual point of death. Gene Roddenberry, who invented Star Trek, affected the world with his philosophy woven into his episodes. And a lot of people wonder where he got the ideas for the Federation. And so in this book, it's a very philosophical book. It's not just a Star Trek book. You see, this woman who wrote the book, Yvonne Fern, she was a nun in the 60s. And then, Gene Roddenberry was kind of an atheist. He said he believed in God, but he didn't know what it was. And but anyway, what's fascinating is the philosophy. See, a book that really inspired him was called The Space Cadet. I believe it's from 1952. What's funny about Gene Roddenberry, people don't know, he was a pilot in World War II. He went on like 88 missions, I believe. So this man was not a novice at life. He really experienced a lot of things, and then he went on to be a LA police officer, was almost the chief of police, but he decided to do Star Trek instead, and it's probably for the best. So this is an excerpt from the book, but it's also an excerpt from the book Space Cadet from 1952, which influenced him to write Star Trek. And let's find out the credo. This is the credo, I think, for the people in the book, and they are also space travelers. So here we go. I welcome you to our fellowship. You come from many lands, some from other planets. You are various colors and creeds, yet you must and shall become a band of brothers. Some of you are homesick. You need not be. From this day on, every part of this family of planets is your home, each place equally. Each living, thinking creature in this system is your neighbor and your responsibility. You are about to take an oath by your own choice as a member of the patrol of this system. In time, you expect to become an officer of that patrol. It is necessary that you understand the burden you assume. You expect to spend long hours studying your new profession, acquiring the skills of the spaceman and the arts of the professional soldier. These skills and arts you must have, but they will not make you an officer of the patrol, an officer in command of a ship of the patrol. Away from base is the last of the absolute monarchs, for there is none but himself to restrain him. Many places where he must go, no other authority reaches. He himself must embody law and the rule of reason, justice, and mercy. More than that, to the members of the patrol, singly and together, is entrusted such an awful force as may compel or destroy all other force we know of. And with this trust is laid on them the charge to keep the peace of the system and to protect the liberties of its peoples. They are soldiers of freedom. It's not enough that you be skillful, clever, or brave. The trustees of this awful power must each possess a meticulous sense of honor, self-discipline beyond all ambition, conceit, or avarice, respect for the liberties and dignities of all creatures, and an unwielding will to do justice and give mercy. He must be a true and gentle knight. So that's the quote from Gene Roddenberry's the book that he loved so much that actually influenced Star Trek, and that was like basically the foundations for the Federation. So now I got a good song for you. Here's another Enya song called Even in the Shadows from her album Dark Sky Island. That is Even in the Shadows by Enya off the album Dark Sky Island. I've been waiting for another Enya album. I'm a big fan. My birthday is the 18th of May. Her birthday, I believe, is the 17th. I've got a poem for you. It's called The Quest. Everyone is on a quest, whether you know it or not. A quest for happiness. A quest for honor. A quest for love. But may I suggest that this quest begin with an open mind. Don't seek to judge first, seek to perceive, because maps should be made of many evolving ponderings and not harsh and solely emotional judgments. How many wise counselors do you have in your posse? Have you sought the opinions of strangers from around the world before making perceptions? Is there a God? Have you looked? Is it over? Is information still coming in? Are you lost? Good, because now you can begin your quest. Have you danced today? Gently, gracefully, full of breath, dance to a song as gentle as the breeze. A song like The End of August by Yanni. Heal through dance. a slow dance of stretch and ease. Hear the blowing leaves softly whisper and scratch by. Dance with me in the autumn sky. Float your heart into the garden of sound. Let the rhythm slowly twirl the soul around. Extend your branches to the setting sun, showing your toes to the soft pale moon. Roll to the sand, groove to the sleeping dreams. Forever mornings. A fiery and tremulous orange rises from the silent and still low-lit sea. Glistening tree arms stretching high into a gray sky shake off the violet stardust of a nebulous night. A cornucopia of fallen leaves panned out like a grandmother's quilt. Harvest fields, the song of rosemary. A cold breeze brushes my cheek like a long-lost high school sweetheart. The light limbos its way down from the clouds and through stories untold of stained glass, photonic paintings of light resting and melting across my face, burning me back into the past. It was always and forever will be, for the prehistoric tale of two hearts, etched into the human story. When I sleep at night, I see the real world. In the morning, I wake up into the dream. The colors in my fingers being held back like rushing rivers of a dam. Wheel of words exploding across my mind's eye like cannonballs from Dimension X. I want to kiss your face until we buckle into rest, rolling the day away in a cornfield of fresh and breezy stories. We found the forest door that only opens for the true travelers and dingle doties. Because I'm more aligned now to run madly and wild into a shower of ricocheting Cupid bullets, diving into the cold and dusty swell of libraries in one last magical island adventure. Steal as many kisses as your thieving cat eyes can take. What time we lost once has been found in the forever of tonight. Our regrets are beheaded, the ship's been built. All that's left is to raise the sails and to talk to Jesus over a glass of wine, the ear of every wind. This is The End of August by Yanni. I like Yanni. So guys, I need your support. Money would be nice, but my book is on Amazon. It's called Keep Your Inner Child Wild, and it is 99 cents on Kindle, and it's also in book form for $15. And it's a book of poetry and strange things I put together, how to stay, youthful, and how to stay random and weird and fun. So here's one of my poems from the book, and it's called Interlude Poem. Please forgive me for that interlude into nothingness. The time has come once again to ponder the deep and wet magnitudes of a light. A night so perfect it could only be the first flames of a true love story. I'm an old sap and the antithesis of a curmudgeon, so forgive me if I go off the rails. It's a desert where I'm at the moon glows far more brightly when you have faith. The stars begin to whisper the longer you stare into them. So It's not so much that I wallow in obsession as that I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for that hike up a harsh mountain while the glistening rain trickles down the luscious stones and into the mouth of the ethereal core. I won't be distracted from those perfect and warm eyes. I won't let it go even after my legs bleed. I don't ever have to let go, because this isn't just my dream. It's a dream the dying may see and yet live. And that was from Keep Your Inner Child Wild by Wild Eric over here. So we're going to be wrapping up the show here in just a minute because I got stuff to do, you know. I don't know. Let me speak from the heart. Lately, I've been working a lot of hours and being very isolated. And, I had some guests on before. I had Michael Barnhart. Check out all my other podcasts. We had a soldier, a patriot who fought in Iraq back in the day. And he gives his testimonies about what he went through. And I also had a magician, Jack Murdoch. Check out all the Spotify podcasts because we have some really great guests. But now let me share, I've been listening to music for quite a while, so I have a couple of things to share. My friend Everett got me into T-Rex, and there's a song called Light of Love by T-Rex. And here we go. La 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 la, the light of love. Oh, light of love, won't you shine on me? Won't you shine on me? Light of love. Oh, won't you burn? Won't you burn for me? And that is The Light of Love by T-Rex. My good buddy Everett, I met him as a cab driver in Las Vegas. He just passed away, 66 years old. Partied his butt off, and I guess you die a little young sometimes when you party your butt off. Well, what a guy. He introduced me to T-Rex and a lot of other great movies and all that kind of stuff. Tonight, I got a little excerpt from Jim Rohn that may be helpful to your life. I've always appreciated his philosophy. I'm going to read from his book. It's called The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle, A Guide to Personal Success. And then we'll close out the show with a Wild Eric original song. I think we'll play Ariel the Mermaid. Okay, so personal philosophy is like the set of the sail. In the process of living, the winds of circumstance blow on us all in an unending flow that touches each of our lives. We have all experienced the blowing winds of disappointment, despair, and heartbreak. Why then would each of us in our own individual ship of life, all beginning at the same point with the same intended destination in mind, arrive at such different places at the end of the journey? Have we not all sailed upon the same sea, baby? Have we not all been blown by the same winds of circumstance and buffeted by the same turbulent storms of discontent? What guides us to different destinations in life is determined by the way we have chosen to set our sail. The way that each of us thinks makes the major difference in where each of us arrives. The major difference is not circumstance. The major difference is the set of the sail. The same circumstances happen to us all. We all have disappointments and challenges. We all have reversals and those moments when, in spite of our best plans and efforts, things just seem to fall apart. Challenging circumstances are not events reserved for the poor, the uneducated, or the destitute. The rich and the poor have children who get in trouble. The rich and the poor have marital problems. The rich and the poor have the same challenges that can lead to a financial ruin or a personal despair. In the final analysis, it's not what happens that determines the quality of our lives. It is what we choose to do when we have struggled to set the sail and then discover after all of our efforts that the wind has changed direction. When the winds change, we must change. We must struggle to our feet once more and reset the sail in the manner that will steer toward the destination of our deliberate choosing. The set of the sail, how we think and how we respond, has a far greater capacity to destroy our lives than any challenges we face. How quickly and responsibly we react to adversity is far more important than the adversity itself. Once we discipline ourselves to understand this, we will finally and willingly conclude that the great challenge of life is to control the process of our own thinking, learning to reset the sail with the changing winds rather than permitting ourselves to be blown in a direction we did not purposely choose requires the development of a whole new discipline. It involves going to work on establishing a powerful personal philosophy that will help to influence in a positive way all that we do and all that we think and decide. If we can succeed in this worthy endeavor, the result will be a change in the course of our income, bank account, lifestyle, and relationships, and in how we feel about the things of value as well as the time of challenge. If we can alter the way we perceive, judge, and decide upon the main issues of life, then we can dramatically change our lives. And that was Jim Rohn, the book, The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. Great stuff there. We are now going to move over to a song. See, one day I was hanging out in Vegas when I lived there, and I had a poster on the wall. I got a Walmart special. It was Ariel and the mermaid, and she looked like a ghostly. It was just an amazing piece of art. It wasn't traditional coloring. Ariel, the whole background was like a weird, crazy like blue, you know. But anyway, I was sitting there trying to write a dance album, and it never really went anywhere. So I'm going to share this song. This is one of my old songs. Let's see, Eric Pendragon. That's what you type. So that's my old name on YouTube. If you want to find the song, Eric Pendragon, and then type in Ariel, and here it is. I hope. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Crapola. It's coming, I promise. Let's see, going to the thing here. This is one of my old songs. I'm going to... Well, while I find it, let's talk about something else. I don't want to bore the crap out of you guys while you're waiting. I know the anticipation is killing you. Videos. But it's a song worth waiting for. Here it is. I found it. Ariel the Mermaid. To that, man. All right, guys. I appreciate you paying attention to my show. I'll be coming back to you hopefully nightly if I can keep this up or whatever. But it's cool having, a voice talking to the world for those who would listen. I just realized not too long ago that I am such a cerebral person, man. I mean, I can't enjoy anything unless it really involves like sitting down and discussing new ideas. I like nature, I like walking, all that stuff, but man, when you go into a noisy bar, if you just can't find anybody cool to talk to, and I guess, cool to me is like people who are open-minded and read a lot, I guess. But anyway, so here is a poem from my book, Keep Your Inner Child Wild. It's called, and I'll be closing out here. How about some music over this, right? Who's good? You know what's a really great song? I mean, I really love Enya. I'm not gonna lie. So, but Enya has a song called, what is it now? I think The Memory of Trees. And it's such a great song. We'll go out on that with a poem. But please sign up for the podcast. Follow us on YouTube too. And buy the book. Keep Your Inner Child Wild. Amazon, 99 cents. All right. The ferry to the land of our dreams. I don't know what happened to us. We were filled with dreams of rock and roll, travel and fame. Paying bills and middle-class jobs somehow stole our youth. I never met the funny and strange and sweet girl I was supposed to marry. Just everything far and in between. Do you ever get a sense of loss when you see a young couple? Like the feeling that you can't even believe you missed the ferry to the land of dreams? You can't help but ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Or is it just a shuffle of the deck? Am I stubborn, or am I waiting for someone I consider alive as myself, a dingle-doty? Weave between the crooked trees. What did you love when you were young? It's the end of the first date, and I doubt is still lost in the wilderness of hope. I've waited in line for this roller coaster long enough to write a book. Now let the pages blow in the wind, and if they blow fast enough, it will animate the frames into thought, the power to change worlds by trusting in God. I don't have to know how. I can ride the waves of faith, the invisible blade. I've always wanted a woman that would burst into song, burst into ideas. Someone who, if you asked to hop a train, would say without a flinch, of course. I've always wanted a woman who sits under trees, breathes in the cold breeze, and reads books of adventure, books of philosophy, or writes her own books. I see myself a ridiculous storm, a harmless, chaotic energy, a poet knowing it'll all come true. And it has for all of us. If we just sail and sing into the rain like Gene Kelly and dance, it's the belief in something worth dying for, and that has magnetized this thick and present now. Stir the batter and bake the cake. Blow out the candles, ride the smoky streams into the world of your dreams. It's 1911's Peter and Wendy. It says, In order to fly, one must be happy, innocent, and heartless. Happiness can be a choice, the choice to fight for the happiness with your life. Innocent because, like children, who the world seems to, it's still new. Innocent because, like children who the world seems new to, it's still new to us too. Because we have seas of learning still. And heartless. It's heartless because sometimes our emotions stand in the way of making decisions for our greater good. Happy, innocent, heartless. It's time to fly. Wendy.